What's good, everybody? I'm gonna do this and go to bed, man. I'm tired, bro. Been hustling all day since 6 this morning. And then I just got in the house. Just got in the house. It's about 11 o'clock right now. So from 6 to 11, I've been grinding, man. I'm trying to. It's just crazy right now. But anyway, wow. Well, this happened yesterday, right? First, I took my car to the Kia dealership to, just get looked at because the service light came on. So I'm thinking there's something wrong with my car, even though there's, I'm not getting no signs that it's anything wrong with my car. But anyway, I took it to this, to the service shop. As I'm waiting to be, as I'm waiting for my car to be looked at, I see people walking up, and I see one girl walking up, like, a woman walking up, young lady. I see a young lady walking up. And she's walking towards my car, and I'm just looking like, who's this girl? Like, because she just literally, like, she came from there's the dealership side, and then there's the auto shop side. So she's walking from the dealership side, just walking, like just walking up out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, who's this girl? Like, and she walks up to my window. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay, maybe she works here, and she's, she did work there. Like, maybe she's here to help. So, I opened my door, like, what's up? Because she just walked to my window and just stood there and was looking in, like. So I was like, I opened my door and I was like, what's up? Like, and then she was like, oh, I don't work in the auto side. And I'm like, okay, so, like, what you want? She was like, oh, when did you get this car? I was like, I got it like about 6 months ago, probably, something like that. And she's like, oh, okay. She's looking at the car and all that. Then, just having small talk, and I'm like, okay, like, what's up? Like, but one thing I did notice about her, she was mad young. You know what I mean? I'm 42. This girl was probably about 22. You know what I mean? So that's a huge gap. And then I guess she saw that I was older. I guess she thought I was younger. Because the way she walked up, she must have seen me on the camera. She must have seen me get out the car looking around on the camera and all that, because she came from a whole nother total side, and she came right to my car, which means she saw me and she was like, ooh, like, who that, type thing. But once she saw I was older, I guess she lost interest, and I lost interest too, because, she was too young. Like, I'm probably her dad's age, probably. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, all right. Nice to meet you. Bye. So nothing happened with that. But just the fact that she came was crazy, right? So then after that, we established that nothing was wrong with my car, as we knew. It just needed to be resetted, on the dashboard. The dashboard just needed to be resetted. So, we just resetted it or whatever. So I'm going to get something to eat now. I'm going to this Mexican spot out here. They have like the best burrito tacos. They got, that joint is banging. You know what I mean? They got some good drinks there. So I'm going to pick up my food and all that. And as I'm in there, I'm not even paying attention. Like, I'm just focused on getting my food, But I did peep from my peripheral this Latin, chick. I guess she would have, the normal person would have thought she was bad because of her body. Like, she did have a body, I ain't gonna lie. And she knew she had a body. I think she had a BBL because, she had the yams popping, you know what I mean? And it looked like a BBL, maybe. I don't know. These days, everybody got a BBL. So it probably was a BBL. But anyway, especially out here in Florida. So anyway, this girl, she arching her back on the bar. Like I'm waiting on the bar, waiting for my food. She on the bar arching her back, but she was with a dude that looked like her boyfriend. I think it was her boyfriend. The whole time it was her boyfriend. It was her boyfriend, cause she with this dude the whole time. Like they there together, they getting something to eat. Da 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 da. You know. So as I'm waiting for my food, and then my food comes, I grab my food. The boyfriend goes to the bathroom. Right. I'm walking out with my food, and I just hear, I didn't pay attention to the first one. When I heard that, like I didn't pay attention to the first one. I'm steady walking. Then I hear, like she did it again. So when she did it again, I was like, cause you could tell like the way she did it. Like the first time was just like, like when I'm walking out. The second time was like, like like she was trying to get my attention. So then I turn and look like, and she's sitting there like, just staring at me with the seductive look and all that. And I'm like, I just looked at her and walked out, because that's how, like, fellas, don't get yourself wrapped up in no crap, man, like that. One thing about me, first of all, is I'm a man of integrity. So I'm not going to step on nobody's toes. That's one thing about me. Because I learned a long time ago in high school. I was Mr. Steal Your Girl in high school. You know what I mean? And I didn't know how it felt until it happened to me. Karma is real. So I got my karma. I used to take everybody's girls. I made it a sport. Like I took dudes' girl as a sport. You know what I mean? And it came back to me, tenfold. It came back to me. A number of girls I hooked up with and got serious with ended up getting them taken. One time it was taken by my boy. My boy took my girl. You know what I mean? So, it was karma. So I learned a lesson and all that. And one of my lessons that I learned was never step on nobody else's toes. Don't do to somebody what you wouldn't want done to you. I felt what it felt like to get my girl taken. So I'm not going to do it to nobody else. And this girl, it just shows you that, some of these chicks don't be loyal. You wait till your man goes to the bathroom. Dang, you can't even go to the bathroom without your girl doing some dirt? You can't go to the bathroom without your girl doing some dirt, bro? This dude went to the bathroom like, yeah, baby, let me go to the bathroom real quick. And here she is trying to get with me on the sneak, on the fly. You know what I'm saying? And, that's why I just looked at her. I just looked. She wasn't bad looking. And she had body. You know what I mean? But I was like, you're not about to get me wrapped up in no mess. You know what I mean? Who knows what could come from these type of situations? You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes, don't get yourself caught up to where you at her crib smashing. Or she could come to your crib smashing, but little do you know, her boyfriend got the what's the name of that app? Life? Family, whatever the name of that app is, the tracking app on her phone, and tracks her to your house, and you in there smashing. And then he come up with the blicky. You pull your blicky, he pull his blicky, might end up being a shootout, like whoever shoots first. And then it's just a messed up situation all around. That's unnecessary. A lot of times, these chicks won't even tell you they got a man. I was just talking to a joint last week. I stopped talking to her and all that. Actually, it was mutual. We both stopped talking, fooling with each other. You know what I mean? And one reason we stopped fooling with each other because I seen that she had a man and all that. You know, she tried to add me on Facebook. You know, we met each other, we exchanged information and all that. You know, she got my Instagram, so we communicating on Instagram. And then she wanted to communicate on Facebook, so she was trying to add me on Facebook, but I didn't add her on my Facebook because, you know, it's too personal on Facebook. I don't know you like that, girl. Instagram, that's cool because it's not as personal. Facebook is more personal, where all my family and everything is at, you know. And I go to look at her Facebook profile, and it says she's in a relationship. So then we texting and all that, and I said, "Are you in a relationship?" She said, "No." You know, but before that, she hits me up out of nowhere, like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm trying to see you." Da 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 da. So I was like, "All right, bet." You know, I'm gonna be around that way, so you know, I pull up on you, right? She's like, "Oh no, you know, don't pull up on me because my peoples is at the house because my mom is sick." That's what she said. So I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know how it is. You know, my mom's got autism, not autism. My mom got dementia right now. Da da da." She said, "Oh, really? That's what my mom got. My mom got dementia right now too." I was like, "Oh man, it's crazy. You know what's going around?" Type thing. You know. So then she's like, "I'll come see you." So I was like, "All right, bet." You know, but it never happened. And ever since then, we both haven't been contacting each other. And you gotta watch when girls hit you up out of nowhere too, because this girl hit me up out of nowhere. I was already doing something. I was already about to go out and get to this money. So I'm dressed already, about to head out my door. And then bling. I'm like, what? She's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I wanna see you." I'm like, I'm headed out my door and you just hit me up out of nowhere trying to come see me. You know? So I told her, I was like, "Hey, yo, I was actually about to do something, but that's why I said I'll pull up on her. Because I said, I'm going to be in your area. So while I'm over there, I could pull up on you." See, that would have worked. But she was like, "Oh, no, you know, don't come through to where I'm at." "Why you didn't want me to come through? It said you was in a relationship." Is that why you didn't want me to come through?" She's like, "Nah, I'll come to you. I'm not even going to be home. I'm going to be out and about." You know? I'm not about to stop what I'm doing. I'm not about to stop getting to this money to get with you and spend more money because that's what she wanted me to do. She wanted me to take her out. She was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do something fun." Who do you think would have been paying for that? You know? Especially the way these girls are in 2026. You know she would have expected me to pay for everything we was going to do that night. And I'm trying to make money and you trying to get me to spend money. So I already seen what type of chick she was, you know what I mean? So, you know, I stopped hitting her up, she stopped hitting me up, you know, so it is what it is. You know. That's the thing, fellas. Don't be tripping over these chicks. Just like they got all these options, you gotta have all these options too. Cause that's how they are these days. I notice. You know, you do one thing wrong nowadays. I'm new to the new dating scene in 2006, but I'm a fast learner. And one thing I notice is you do one thing wrong, say one wrong thing, and they on to the next. And that's because their options is so high and available because we got online dating. All these chicks is on online dating. And dudes are more thirsty than girls are. So they got a laundry list of dudes they could choose from. No matter how good you look. That's why you gotta stand out. You know? You gotta stand out, and when you stand out, you know, they gonna be sweating you. They gonna be like, nah, this dude is different right here. Hold on now. Like they gonna be looking at you like, nah, this dude different right here. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the online dating is crazy. Nowadays you gotta pay for apps. You gotta pay for online dating apps. Like I'm not about to pay for no online dating. Like all them apps that you gotta pay for. Like I start a profile, right? And then it'd be like, I'm getting all these hits, I'm getting all these messages sent to me and all types of stuff. You know what I mean? And then I see, I'm like, oh, she bad. Okay, let me click the, holla at her. Ding, pay this much. I'm like, what? It's like, I'm not about to pay no online. That shows desperate. I'm not that desperate to have to pay to play. I'm not about to pay to play. Are you serious? Like, I don't even gotta do that. Like I said, I'd rather just do it the old fashioned way and meet chicks. I work. Like, at work I'm seeing all types of, women at work and all that. I'm about to, let me just meet somebody at work or while I'm out and about. Just meet somebody the old fashioned way. You know? And when you step out when you step out, it's just all about how you look and how you carry yourself and all that. And all the time you don't even have to have a mouthpiece. Like I just told you when I went into the Mexican spot. I didn't say one word. I just walked up in there, wasn't paying attention to nobody, just going there to get my food, and even though she had a man, had her trying to, she was going hard, trying to get my attention. All I had to, if I was foul, I could have just brought my phone to her and had her put her number in and just walked out. That's all I would have did. If I was that type of dude, I could have literally just walked to her, not say a word, give her my phone. She would have put her number in it, take it, and walk out. It's that easy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, nah, you got a man, girl. Like I'm not foul like that. You know? So moral of the story is make sure you out here, like, even after divorce or whatever the case may be, after you're getting your heart broken, all that, focus on self-improvement, focus on looking good, leveling up, of course, being in touch with, you know, the Most High, getting your knowledge up, getting your money up, getting your finances up. That's what we need to do in 2026.